Greetings. I am Andrew Seligsohn, president of Public Agenda. We are a research and public engagement organization based in New York with a mission to strengthen democracy in the United States. And I want to share with you some of what we have learned through our Healthier Democracies project, because this project represents an ocean of learning, and I have just a flash of lightning in which to communicate its contents. After sharing a bit about the project and some findings and implications, I'll also let you know how you can learn more and find some tools that may be useful to you in your own work. So let me start where we began. The Healthier Democracies project began with two straightforward insights. The first is that democracy in the United States is facing major challenges. And I think anybody attending this gathering is familiar with what some of those challenges are and the fact that they're not unique to the United States, but are being faced by democracies around the world. And the second insight is that we in the US might be able to learn something about how to meet those challenges by looking at efforts to strengthen democracy in other places. And I have to say, while that may not sound shocking to people from most places, we in the United States are often slow to learn from other places in the world. So we thought it was really important to do it in this case. And so a team of public agenda researchers set about to identify and document democratic innovations that could provide lessons to inspire and guide action both in the United States and wherever people are seeking to strengthen democracy. We identified 15 cases of innovations to increase the quantity and quality of citizen participation in governance at both the local and regional level. The cases are drawn from every continent on which humans outnumber penguins, and they were undertaken for a wide variety of distinct purposes. They coexist with a wide variety of political systems and certainly are situated in quite varied social and cultural contexts. Nonetheless, we found in these cases patterns that we think can be helpful for anyone seeking to make positive democratic change in their own communities. So let me say a bit about the cases from which we have derived not only a set of case studies that we are preparing to share, also a lessons learned document that will be available, and finally a participatory governance index, which is a rubric, a tool to help people in local communities assess where they're situated and how they can make further progress. Okay, so let me start with some findings. And one thing I want to say about these as I jump in is that the overall framework through which we thought about these findings is the idea of developing successful ecosystems of participation that include not only government practices, but also a context of citizen engagement that helps make those successful. And I'll talk more about that. So the first finding is that successful innovations have some pretty particular components. One is an infrastructure of an engagement. So not just individual opportunities or short-term engagements, but an ongoing infrastructure that represents a long-term commitment on the part of local governments for citizen participation. A second component is cross-sector collaboration. These involve government policy, but they also involve connection with the citizen sector, organizations of citizens coming together to connect with the government. And also the last component is thoughtful applications of digital technologies. So these successful innovations that have infrastructure, cross-sector collaboration, and thoughtful applications of digital technologies are the places where we saw citizens and governments coming together to make decision-making processes different and different in ways that had lasting benefits. The second finding is that citizen engagement in the context of these innovations involves both frequent and varied opportunities to participate, and most importantly, capacity for meaningful impact. So this isn't just participation to share ideas. It involves citizen impact on problem framing, policy selection, implementation, and ongoing monitoring. And finally, successful participation ecosystems involve collaborations between local government and citizen sector organizations aimed at supporting the citizen sector itself. So successful democratic innovators recognize not only that government processes matter, but that strong citizen sector organizations are essential to long-term citizen impact on local government decision-making. Okay, and then quickly, 3 implications of our work. One is that it's important to focus on what governmental systems can do to be effective in working with civil society organizations. We often focus on training and preparing citizens to engage in processes that will impact local government, and that's important. But governmental systems themselves matter too, and these cases provide some roadmaps to what those innovations can look like in the government sector itself. Secondly, we identified a kind of developmental path that local governments can follow to get to better participation frameworks. And making progress on that doesn't have to be all or nothing. So there are steps that local governments can take, and our participatory government index is intended to help people figure those out. And the last point is that one size does not fit all. Different innovations in particular contexts matter. So they have these overall characteristics in common, but they don't look the same everywhere. All the products of this work will be available at publicagenda.org, and I invite you to check out our website. And you can follow us on Twitter at Public Agenda to learn exactly when they will be released. Thank you very much.